Welcome to BrightBoundX, where we venture beyond the boundaries of what we think we know. Every night, billions of people look up at the stars and wonder, are we alone? What's our purpose? Why does anything exist at all? Unlike your typical educational content, we won't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, we're embarking on a journey to the very edge of human knowledge, where the most brilliant minds in history have stood puzzled, where Nobel Prize winners throw up their hands and say, "We honestly don't know." These aren't questions with neat solutions hiding in textbooks. These are the deep mysteries that have captivated philosophers, scientists, and dreamers for millennia. From the nature of consciousness to the possibility of infinite realities, we're diving headfirst into the unknown. Why focus on unanswered questions? Because it's at the frontier of mystery that the most exciting discoveries await. Every breakthrough in human history began with someone brave enough to ask, what if everything we think we know is wrong? How big is really big? Let's start with something that will make your head spin. The sheer scale of existence. Imagine holding a marble. That marble, compared to Earth, is like Earth compared to the Sun. Already feeling small? Now picture this. If every grain of sand on every beach on Earth represented a star, you'd need to cover an area the size of a small country just to represent our galaxy. And our galaxy? It's one of potentially 2 trillion galaxies we can observe. But here's where it gets wild. What we can see might be less than 1% of what's actually out there. The universe is expanding so rapidly that most galaxies are racing away from us faster than their light can reach us. They exist in a realm of permanent invisibility. Recent theories suggest our universe might be just one bubble in an infinite cosmic foam, where universes pop into existence and vanish in timeframes so brief they make a human lifetime look like an eternity. Some models predict 10,500 possible universes, a number so vast that if you spent every second of your life counting, you wouldn't even scratch the surface. What does this mean for us tiny beings on our tiny planet? Perhaps it means we're more special than we ever imagined. Where is everybody? Here's a puzzle that should keep you up at night. With trillions of potentially habitable planets in our galaxy alone, and billions of years for life to evolve, where are all the aliens? This isn't science fiction. It's serious science. Our galaxy is old enough that any civilization that got a head start on us should have had plenty of time to spread across the stars. Even traveling at a fraction of light speed, a determined species could colonize the entire galaxy in just a few million years. Yet when we scan the skies, we hear silence. No radio signals, no massive engineering projects, no signs of intelligence anywhere. It's like arriving at what should be the universe's biggest party only to find empty rooms. The explanations range from hopeful to terrifying. Maybe advanced civilizations become so sophisticated they operate on scales we can't detect. Their technology might be as far beyond radio waves as our smartphones are beyond smoke signals. Maybe they've discovered that the universe is actually teeming with consciousness, but in forms we haven't learned to recognize. Or maybe, and this is the spine-chilling possibility, intelligence is incredibly rare, or incredibly fragile. Maybe we're looking at a cosmic graveyard of civilizations that couldn't survive their own success. Are we living in a simulation? What if everything you've ever experienced, every sunset, every conversation, every emotion is actually just code running on some unimaginably powerful computer? This isn't just philosophical speculation anymore. Serious scientists and technologists are genuinely debating whether our entire universe might be a simulation created by a more advanced civilization. The argument is surprisingly logical. If it's possible to create realistic simulations of conscious beings, then advanced civilizations would likely create many of them. Statistically, this means simulated beings would vastly outnumber real ones. If that's the case, odds are we're among the simulated. But here's the twist. Even if we are in a simulation, does it matter? Your experiences feel real to you. Your relationships, your dreams, your struggles. They have meaning within the context of your existence. Maybe real isn't about the substrate we're running on, but about the consciousness that experiences it. Some physicists point to quantum mechanics as potential evidence. The way reality seems to exist in probability states until observed could be the universe's way of conserving computational resources, only rendering details when someone's looking. The implications are staggering. What are the rules of this simulation? Can they be hacked? What makes you, you? Right now, as you're reading this, billions of neurons in your brain are firing in patterns that somehow create your inner experience. But how does electrical activity in meat become the feeling of being you? This is what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. We can explain how brains process information, how they respond to stimuli, how they control behavior, but we can't explain why there's an inner movie theater where you watch it all happen. Consider this. Every atom in your body gets replaced over time. The carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen that make up you now were once part of stars, rocks, other living things. Yet something persists that feels continuously like you. What is that something? Some scientists propose consciousness is fundamental, like mass or electric charge, a basic feature of the universe. Others suggest it emerges from complexity, like how wetness emerges from H2O molecules. Still others wonder if consciousness is an illusion, a story your brain tells itself. Here's the kicker. If we can't explain consciousness, how can we ever build truly conscious AI? And if we do succeed in creating conscious machines, how would we know? How would they know? These questions aren't just academic. As AI becomes more sophisticated, we're approaching a moment when we might create minds that could suffer or dream or wonder about their own existence. The illusion of now. You feel like you're living in a specific moment called now, watching the past recede and the future approach. But according to our best physics, that feeling might be completely wrong. Einstein showed us that time isn't universal. It flows differently depending on speed and gravity. A twin traveling to a distant star at near light speed would return younger than their earthbound sibling. But the implications go deeper than time dilation. Many physicists believe the universe is block time, past, present, and future. All exist equally. Your birth, your death, and every moment in between are all equally real, like frames in a vast cosmic movie reel. The feeling that only now exists might be an illusion created by consciousness. This raises mind-bending questions. If the future already exists, do we have free will? Are you choosing to continue reading this? Or was that choice determined at the Big Bang? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest the future genuinely isn't determined until observed, making consciousness itself a force that helps write reality. Then there's the possibility that time might not even exist at a fundamental level. At the deepest scales of reality, the Planck scale, time and space might dissolve into something far stranger. Time might be an emergent property, like temperature, that only makes sense when you zoom out from the microscopic chaos underneath. The multiverse and its implications. What if every decision you've ever made spawned an entire universe? What if every quantum event creates a cosmic split, branching reality into countless parallel worlds? The multiverse isn't science fiction, it's a serious consequence of our best theories. Quantum mechanics suggests that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. One interpretation is that all possibilities actually occur, each in its own parallel universe. This means there might be universes where dinosaurs never went extinct, where you became a world-famous musician, where history took radically different turns. In some universes, other versions of you are reading different words on the screen right now. But quantum parallelism is just one type of multiverse. Cosmic inflation theory suggests space itself spawns infinite bubble universes, each with potentially different laws of physics. String theory adds even more possibilities. up to 11 dimensions folded through space, with countless ways they could be configured. If infinite universes exist with infinite variations, then everything possible must happen somewhere. There are universes where the constants of physics are slightly different, creating entirely alien forms of matter and energy. There might be universes where consciousness works completely differently or where time runs backward. The philosophical implications are staggering. If everything possible happens, does anything matter? Or does it make every choice, every moment, even more precious? Are we made of data? What if the universe isn't made of matter and energy, but of information? This radical idea is gaining ground among physicists who study black holes and quantum mechanics. The discovery that black holes have entropy, a measure of information content, led to the realization that information might be more fundamental than the physical objects that contain it. When matter falls into a black hole, the information it contains isn't destroyed, but encoded on the black hole surface. This suggests reality itself might be holographic. All the information contained in any volume of space can be encoded on its boundary, like a 3D image projected from a 2D surface. You might be a projection of information stored on the distant boundary of the observable universe. Digital physics takes this further. What if the universe is literally computational? What if space and time emerge from discrete units of information being processed, like pixels on a cosmic computer screen? Some theories suggest the universe processes about 10^120 bits of information per second, an almost inconceivable amount of cosmic computation. If reality is information, then consciousness might be certain patterns of information becoming aware of themselves. You might be information that has achieved self-reference data that knows it exists. This could explain why mathematics works so well to describe reality. Maybe the universe isn't just mathematically describable, maybe it is mathematics, running as pure information processing. Meaning in a meaningless universe? Here's perhaps the most human question of all. Why does any of this matter? In a universe that might be infinite, where we might be simulations, where consciousness might be an illusion, what's the point? Traditional answers don't work well anymore. If the universe started with a random quantum fluctuation, if humans are just accidents of evolution, if individual lives are brief sparks in cosmic time, where do we find meaning? Yet here's something remarkable. In a universe that appears fundamentally random and purposeless, conscious beings have emerged who create purpose. We write poetry, compose music, fall in love, sacrifice for others, explore the cosmos, ask deep questions. Meaning seems to emerge from meaninglessness. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe consciousness is how the universe comes to understand itself. Through our eyes, the universe sees its own beauty. Through our minds, it contemplates its own mysteries. Through our hearts, it experiences love and wonder. Carl Sagan called us a way for the cosmos to know itself. If that's true, then every moment of awareness, every act of curiosity, every expression of love might be cosmically significant, not because some external force gives it meaning, but because conscious beings create meaning. Perhaps the universe evolves toward greater complexity, greater consciousness, greater capacity for understanding and beauty. Maybe we're part of something becoming aware of itself, and our role is to be the universe's sense organs and its voice. What we might discover next. We stand at an extraordinary moment in cosmic history. Never before have conscious beings been so close to answering such fundamental questions about reality. In the next decade, we might detect signs of life on distant worlds through atmospheric analysis of exoplanet. We might receive a signal from another civilization, finally answering whether we're alone. We might create artificial consciousness, forcing us to confront what consciousness really means. Quantum computers could reveal new layers of reality. Gravitational wave detectors might hear echoes from before the Big Bang. Brain scanning technology could map consciousness itself, showing us how subjective experience emerges from neural activity. We might discover that reality has more dimensions than we imagined, that time travel is possible, that consciousness is fundamental to the universe's structure, or we might find that reality is even stranger than our wildest theories suggest. But here's the most exciting possibility: we might discover questions we didn't even know we should ask. Every major breakthrough in science has revealed new mysteries more profound than the ones it solved. The edge of knowledge keeps expanding, and the view gets more breathtaking with each step. Whatever we discover, one thing seems certain: curiosity itself might be the most important thing about us. In a universe full of wonders, the capacity to wonder might be the greatest wonder of all. Keep questioning, keep exploring. The greatest discoveries are still ahead of us. If this journey to the edge of knowledge has sparked your curiosity, we want to explore these mysteries together. Like this video if it made you think differently about reality. Subscribe to BrightBoundX for more mind-expanding explorations into the unknown. Share this with someone who loves big questions and bigger mysteries. Comment below. Which mystery intrigues you most? What questions keep you awake at night? Join our community of curious minds as we venture beyond the boundaries of the known. At BrightBoundX, we believe the best adventures happen at the edge of understanding. New episodes every week, because the universe always has more secrets to reveal. BrightBoundX, where curiosity meets the cosmos.